Okay, everybody, so now that I have finally gotten my printer set up, that I have converted from an inkjet printer to a sublimation printer, I'm going to go ahead and attempt my first design, which I am going to be making a composition notebook that I got from Walmart, just a pen and gear Walmart book. And I did do a test on this, and when I first did it in Sillouette, it kind of shrunk the image down, so I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. As you see, I'm in Sillouette Studio. All I did was bring my design in, drag and dropped. And it was, I think I did a 7 by 10, and it ended up making it a little bit too short. So this time I'm going to do a 8 by 10 and a half, and then we're just going to cut the extras off because I'm not going to cut it out on my cutting machine. I'm just going to cut it out with my X-Acto knife. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to right click and we want to flip it horizontally because it is sublimation ink, that we have to do it so that when it prints the correct way. So we want to mirror it, everybody. So that's flip horizontally in Sillouette Studios. And the inkjet paper I'm going to be using is just this inkjet paper here. Printer's Jack, it looks like it's what it's called, 8.3 by 11.7, and it was just some paper that I found online. I kind of like it because it has a blue side, which lets me know that that's the color side that's going to go up in my printer, and the white is going to go down. And then also I got this glossy white sublimation sticker paper, 30 sheets, which is 8.5 by 11, and we're going to also be just using one of these to press our stickers on our heat press, which my heat press right now is warming up to 400 degrees, and everyone says you have to press it for 40 to 60 seconds. So this is glossy. I'm going to just get a sheet of that out. All right, so I have my image mirrored. I got my paper ready. My printer is on. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to File. I'm going to say Print. You see it's mirrored here, so it's going to print the correct way. I'm going to push Print. I'm going to go over here to my print box, my dialog box, and I'm just going to go to Preferences. I'm going to print on Premium Photo Glossy paper, and I'm going to do High and Color, and then I'm going to say OK. And then I'm just going to go ahead and say Print. And this time, it just kept it at its original size, the correct size. I don't know why I did that last time. It shrunk it down a little bit, but that's okay. So it's going to print out at a width of 8.082 and a height of 10.50. All right. All right, everybody, I'm back at the craft table. So as you can see, it printed out my image, my Epson 4800, printed out my image on my sublimation paper, which is mirrored. Now I'm going to tape it down to my sticker paper. You're going to make sure your shiny side is down. Oh, and this has a back with writing, so you know that you have the right side down. I'm just gonna put it on here like so. I'm gonna get some of my heat tape and I'm just gonna tape it front to back like so. And yeah, I have really skinny heat tape. I have bigger ones, but this is what I have on the roll right now, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to tape this other side down now. Like that, because we don't want it to move. Alright, so now you see we have it taped down. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to press it with this blue side up. So now we're going to go on over to my heat press, which is warmed up to 400 degrees. I'm going to put down a piece of this parchment paper on the bottom and on the top. And we're going to get it pressed out. All right, everybody, I'm over at the heat press, so you can see that I have put down my parchment paper. I'm just going to lay my sublimation image right on top of my parchment paper. My heat press again is set to 400 degrees, and I'm going to press it for 60 seconds. I'm going to push my platen in, and we have it on heavy pressure. And I want to make sure that it's not too tight where it won't clamp. And it looks like I have it so tight, doesn't want to clamp right now. There. That looks good. So we're just going to leave that going until we hit our 60 seconds. All right, so it's done. I'm going to let that up and be careful. Let me get on my heat gloves, because it is going to be very hot. You see my color did come in really, really nice. So we're going to head on over to the table and we're going to peel it back. All right, I'm going to now peel back my tape. And let's check it out and see how our image transferred over. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. Does look like I did see a little bit of movement in there from when I was trying to lock the press. But there's the image. The colors look really, really nice. It looks like a little bit of ghosting right there. But this is my first time, you guys. So I think it came out pretty awesome. Alright, so where's my notebook? Here is my notebook. And you see it's going to just fit right on my notebook. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just cut out the white lines. I don't want to get any white lines on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off at the top. And then I'll cut the bottom off when I get ready to get to the bottom. Let me just get my paper cutter and cut that white line off on the side, because I don't want that to be on the side. So I got my handy dandy little paper cutter here, and I'm just going to put it in just a little bit just to cut off this little white on the side over there, because I don't like that. Right, just gonna find where's my cutting line there, and I'm just gonna go up and cut that off just a little bit. And looks like I could just get a little more, or I missed it. So let's try that again. It has to be in between those lines. All right, let's try one more time. There we go. All right. Now you can see I cut off that white line on the edge. All right, let's put that to the side. Now I'm gonna find my squeegee. And we're gonna put it down, you guys. All right, found my squeegee. So how I've seen everyone else do it is they just peel it back from the open side and they start over here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do as well. And it just lifted up like that, and we're going to turn it back just a little bit on that one side so we can squeegee it down. So I'm going to fold back this one side like this, so it is like that, and then I'm just going to put it down on the edge of my notebook, so that I can have a little bit left over, so that I can go around it with my X-Acto knife to get it cut off where I would like for it to be cut off. Hold on a minute, because I did cut that piece off over there. So I want to make sure it's covering my whole notebook here. All right. And then I think what I want to do is, no, I don't want to cut that bottom, but I do want to cut this side over here. And since I'm already at the table, I'm just going to use my scissors instead of my little paper cutter. There. Voila. All right. So then all I see everybody do is just push it back from the back and squeegee it down like so. Pulling your paper at the same time. That you try not to get any bubbles, which I do see a little bubble right here, so I'm gonna have to pull that back up. And this paper pulls up fairly easy. Alright, so let's try that again, you guys. Maybe I'll turn it this way so I can see it a little better. Yeah, that's better. All right, that looks good to me. So I just went and found one of my worn out mats that I use for sewing to trace patterns, because this one is all beat up and I don't really care about getting it cut up anymore. So I'm just gonna use that and my X-Acto knife, and I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna cut out the excess paper around the notebook like this. Being careful to stay on the outside of my notebook. All right, right, let's see how I did, everybody. Looks like I need to cut this spot a little more here. All right. And looks like I need to cut this side a little more too over here. And there you have it, everybody. There's my girl's notebook for back to school. First sublimated notebook that I did. I'm gonna keep at it, keep practicing. Yeah, and this is just something else that I just picked up that I saw that looked like fun, and I love to do it. So I'm going to get started with this now. There's my girl's notebook. Did look like a little bit of ghosting in there where it did move a little bit. So I have to remember to not have my knob turned all the way down on my heat press so it won't be lifting up and it can just get a nice even press. But I think for most part this one came out pretty good for my first try, everybody. And again, my name is Tracy with JDL Threads. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And I'll see you in the next video. And remember to like, share, and subscribe for me.